So many of you may not be aware, but with the announcement of Pokémon Legends Z-A coming out next year, we're going to be getting a whole bunch of new Mega Evolutions to the Pokémon franchise. And I want to talk about when we could possibly see these Mega Evolutions come to Pokémon GO, and whether or not any of them are going to be incredibly powerful. Hey, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, we gotta talk about some of these new Mega Evolutions that are coming to the Pokemon franchise. Some of them are definitely creating a lot of buzz, and others are, I think, very forgettable, or people are just simply not caring about them. But at the very least, these are extremely exciting, mainly because as Pokemon fans, we love Mega Evolutions, and to see more of them get added to the franchise, that is definitely really exciting. And some of these Pokemon that are getting Mega Evolutions, it's actually quite a surprise, and I think some of the designs are just phenomenal. So yeah, I kind of want to talk about the ones that have been announced. A few of them were actually introduced today from a Pokemon Direct, and I think overall these are going to be game changing if they ever come to Pokemon Go. And then later we'll kind of speculate when we could start to expect seeing them in the game. So the first one I wanted to highlight is, of course, Mega Dragonite. Now, if you look at this design, it's actually quite, I think, controversial. I think a lot of players were hoping that it would have much bigger wings or something a little bit more fairy-like. But in my opinion, I think this design is pretty cool. And I do think this is going to be one of the most powerful Mega Evolutions we are going to see. Now, when it comes to Pokemon Go, is it going to be powerful? Yeah, likely it will be a very powerful Mega Evolution, but the only problem is there is a slew of Mega Evolutions that have the Dragon typing already, and one of them is the absolute king when it comes to Mega Evolutions, and I'm of course talking about Mega Rayquaza. So is there going to be a place for Mega Dragonite? I really do not know. But at the same time, I do think it's going to be a fan favorite, so you will expect to see a lot of players actually go for this particular Mega Evolution. And to be honest with you, I'm really excited about the idea of this Mega Evolution coming to Pokemon Go because I have myself actually 2 Shundo Dragonites. So yeah, you can definitely tell which ones I'm going to get Mega Evolved. Now, another Mega Evolution that's coming to Pokemon Go, or I should say to the Pokemon franchise, is going to be Mega Malamar. And this one is kind of a surprise because not a lot of players expected Malamar to ever get a Mega Evolution. But I really do think this one could be potentially a game changer, mainly because of the typing. If you think about Malamar, it is a very powerful Pokemon when it comes to PvP, but I do think there is potential for this Mega Evolution to actually make some sort of impact when it comes to raids, and we'll just have to wait and see, because when it comes to dark types, and I forget what the other typing is, fighting type? Yeah, regardless, yeah. Malamar, it's going to be pretty strong. So yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty decent one. Now, another Mega Evolution is going to be Mega Victory Bell, and this was something I never expected them to do, but I think it's a really funny design. It kind of makes Victory Bell, I really do not know. The design is just, it's just very kooky, it's very funny. If it were to ever come to Pokemon Go though, I think it could be pretty good. I mean, grass types, there's not many of them that have a Mega Evolution. The ones that a lot of players use is going to be Mega Sceptile, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe it could get some really good stats and be actually useful for raids, but who knows? I really do think, just like with Dragonite, there's going to be a lot of options that will likely be better, specifically Mega Sceptile, and possibly Mega Venusaur as well. And then another Mega Evolution that is coming to the Pokemon franchise is going to be Mega Hawlucha. And to be honest with you, this is probably the most underwhelming out of all of the new Mega Evolutions, at least for myself. I know there's going to be players out there who will disagree with me, but Hawlucha is just one of those Pokemon I don't necessarily think about. And when it comes to this Mega Evolution coming to Pokemon Go, I think it's going to be in a similar boat as Mega Heracross, where it's going to be a little bit more niche. But yeah, there is a possibility there that Mega Hawlucha will be a super powerful Mega Evolution, but I think its biggest rival is going to be Mega Lucario, and I do predict that Mega Lucario is still going to remain as your best option when it comes to fighting types. And then of course we got to talk about the ones that were announced today. We have I believe the Mega, what is it? Actually, yeah, let's just go down the list. So first and foremost, there is Mega Greninja. Really cool one. I think Greninja is one of the most popular water type starters that the Pokemon franchise has ever had. And for it to get a Mega Evolution, I think that totally makes sense. And the Mega Evolution design is definitely quite interesting. When it comes to Pokemon Go, I think it's going to be outclassed by Primal Kyogre, unfortunately. But at the same time, I still think there is a lot of potential for this particular Mega Evolution. Maybe if it's a very powerful glass cannon like Mega Sceptile, then yeah, I do think some players will opt to use Mega Greninja over Primal Kyogre. There's a lot of potential there, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I do think the design is pretty cool. And then there's another starter that got a Mega Evolution. It's going to be Mega Delphox. In Pokemon Go, I think there's a lot of fire types that are going to be way stronger, unfortunately, and they're also starters. You know, I think it's going to be really hard for Mega Delphox to make some sort of impact, because if you compare the starters' stats and you think about how they're going to translate with Mega Evolutions, Mega Charizard Y and Mega Blaziken are going to be much better options. But who knows, maybe Mega Delphox is going to be the one to use when it comes to Fire-type Mega Evolutions. And then finally, there is Mega Chestnut, which is another starter-type Pokemon, and this is another Grass-type Mega Evolution. I really do not know whether or not this one's going to be useful, but I think it falls in the same category as Mega Victory Bell, where Mega Sceptile might be the better option, but this one could be the tanky one. And when it comes to Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Go, sometimes you will want to go with the tankier option because you want the Mega Evolution to last much longer in battle so that you can get the bonus for much longer. So yeah, maybe Mega Chestnut will be actually useful. We'll just have to wait and see. I think its biggest rival is going to be Mega Venusaur, because Mega Venusaur is definitely a very tanky Mega Evolution for you to use when it comes to grass types. And then finally, we have 2 Mega Evolutions for one Pokemon, and this one is actually quite a bit of a surprise, and I thought that it was totally a really cool idea, and I thought it made total sense. And it's of course going to be Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. Now, if you look at the design of both of these Mega Evolutions, they're both really cool, and I predict they're going to be just like with Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y, where it all depends on the raid boss where you use it. I think both of them are going to be really useful. I think electric type Mega Evolutions are very lacking, so these are naturally going to be Mega Evolutions that players will end up using. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how they end up turning out. But overall, really exciting stuff. I think all of these Mega Evolutions are extremely cool, and when they come to Pokemon Go, they're definitely going to draw a lot of hype. Now, speaking of which, when do I think they're going to come to Pokemon Go? Well, it really depends on whether or not Niantic, or I should say Scopely, decides to actually coordinate with the Pokemon Company, because I think something that does make a lot of sense is for them to release a couple of these Mega Evolutions alongside the release of Pokemon Legends Z-A. I mean, it would make total sense, because not only would they have a lot of cross promotion, but when it comes to Pokemon Legends Z-A, there is a lot riding on that game when it comes to the Pokemon franchise. When it came to the mainstream games, there's been a lot of talks of just a downgrade in quality. I think a lot of players felt that mostly with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I think this is a great opportunity for the Pokemon Company as well as Gamefreak to kind of regain a lot of that player reputation that they may have lost. So I think they're going to want to promote that game, and one of the best ways they could do that is to tap into what I would say is probably the largest Pokemon player base in the world, and that is the Pokemon Go player base. So having Mega Evolutions from Pokemon Legends Z-A when the game releases, that makes total sense. So definitely keep your eye out for that. I think that is around the time we're going to start seeing some of these Mega Evolutions get added to Pokemon Go. And then of course, lately we've been seeing them just kind of clearing out some of the remaining Mega Evolutions. So I think it makes total sense. I think they're trying to kind of clear the path so that when they release new Mega Evolutions, they're going to be ripe and ready for Pokemon Go. And there's not going to be any remaining Mega Evolutions that players are still going to be waiting for. So yeah, that's my read on it. I'm really excited about these. I think they're going to create a very positive impact for the Pokemon franchise. And then in general, when it comes to Pokemon Go, they're definitely going to be exciting when they get released. And that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about. Make sure you tell me what your favorite new Mega Evolution is, which one you're really excited about coming to Pokemon Go, all that really good stuff. And yeah, if there's something that you felt like I needed to share regarding these Mega Evolutions, definitely mention that as well. Let's have a great discussion in the comments section. I look forward to seeing you there. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget the notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see right now on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go there and give me a follow, and that'll be a huge help to my channel. And you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.